Yo YouTube, what is going on? You've got Techno here, coach of the Carolina Pantherians, bringing you guys today our final game of this NPL Minors season up against its Turbo, coach of the Phoenix Midnight. So, before we get into this game, just a couple of things I want to say. If you guys couldn't tell, this is going to be the finals game, considering that both me and Turbo did make it out on top of our conferences. Um, I made it out with a 9-1 plus 23 record, while Turbo made it out with a 6-4 plus 10 record. So it was kind of interesting considering that there were people in my conference who had better records than Turbo, but ended up in second and third place positions. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, so this is going to be a pretty tight game, considering that even though it's pretty likely that I'm going to promote anyways, considering I did go 9-1. Um, there's always going to be that chance that I don't, and if I win this, I just automatically secure that I do. Not to mention, it's another league championship under my belt, which I think could be pretty important. Especially considering that usually when I make finals, I don't win. That's happened like in a shit ton of leagues. Happened in Hive, CFA, IBL, um, PBA recently. So many different leagues that I'm making finals in, and I'm just not winning, which is really annoying for me because I'm very competitive. I really like winning games, winning leagues, like having stuff to put under my league format resume, I guess. And yeah, so this will be a pretty important win, considering just how competitive the season of minors was. I think that coming out on top of it would be pretty impressive, even though I'm already very satisfied with the season and how my draft has gone and everything. So yeah, so if you guys didn't already see this game that I'm about to show you guys, it's on Twitch right now, or there's like a video on Twitch of the entire game, because it was a live stream, so I guess you guys can go check that out if you want. I'll be linking that in the description. I think that's kind of like a more, it's not going to be more in depth because I have actual like stuff on my sets, but it'll be a more fun narration, I guess, because people were pretty surprised to see some sets that came. It was a pretty funny game. But yeah, with that out of the way, let me just get into what my opponent Turbo has and just how he's done the season. So Turbo started off the league with a 3-1 record, well 3-0 record actually, until I beat him in week 4. So that was a pretty tight game, but he's made some roster changes ever since, which honestly I think have kind of been a detrimental part of his team composition. I think that if he kept some of the Mons around, then he would have had a lot easier of a time in some matchups, but at the same time, he also had good times in other matchups. For example, I'll get into that next actually. So his team now is Megalodios, Crocodile, Heatran, Superior, Raikou, Nihilego, which is a Z captain, Tapu Fini, Slurpuff, Hitmonchan, Pinsir, Lapras, and Duskmar. So Hitmonchan, Pinsir, and Lapras are all Z users as well. So yeah, it's definitely gotten a little bit more interesting ever since I played him last. He still has the Hitmonchan and stuff, but he's dropped his Walrein for his Lapras. He's got Pinsir instead of Scyther now, and he's also got Slurpuff and Dusknoir. So I don't remember what he dropped for that, but another really important thing is that he did actually trade the Arcanine that he used to have for the Heatran. So that's a lot better for me because I'm very much more accustomed to playing special fire types than I am to the physical ones, especially with my draft. So Heatran's not as big of a threat as the Arcanine would still be, but Heatran is a pretty big threat just considering my fire resists, but I'm not that worried about it. If I could expect a set, it would probably be like a more offensive Stealth Rock set anyways, so I'm not like that concerned about the Heatran in this game, so just stuff to keep in mind. Everything else is kind of manageable. Slurpuff is the only other real annoying part of his team right now, considering that what Slurpuff does is it's able to get up sticky webs, and basically forced me into bringing my Zapdos, which I didn't really want to bring this matchup. I don't like Zapdos too much this matchup, honestly, just because of like how weird the bulk has to be on that thing. But yeah, so that's basically all the rest of the team, and I guess Lapras is a nice alternative check to the Greninja if I do want to bring that. So I thought that maybe Lapras could be a pretty likely bring, but yeah, we'll just see how that goes. So you guys can see the first mon I bring on my team is going to be my Mega Venusaur with Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, Synthesis, and Toxic with 200 HP, 92 special attack, 112 in special defense, and 104 in speed. So this is important for a couple of reasons. So the speed right there, you guys can see, I have that speed investment because I'm creeping a Heatran that is creeping my Sylveon, the next slowest thing on my team that I think he'll be able to creep. So that's pretty nice to have, just so that I'm able to also with like the extra 4 points anyways, I'm kind of like guaranteeing that unless he's like a lot more speed than Sylveon, then I should just outspeed it if he's like 241 speed, because Sylveon caps out at 240, so that's pretty nice for me. The set I have right here is basically anticipating that the Crocodile will not come. Didn't come last game, and honestly, if you look at my team, just has a pretty shitty matchup. Gets stopped by mons like Zapdos, Venusaur, Buzzwole, Sylveon, it doesn't appreciate, and then like everything else can just kind of like do a lot of damage to it, like Greninja. Even like my Zygarde can do a lot of damage to Darmanitan. It just wears it down. So I don't think Crocodile will come this game. It seems like it's like a suboptimal bring for him to have. But yeah, with this set, what I kind of do is I can lure in mons like Latios, get off Toxics on them, and then that kind of helps my team out a lot later in the long run. I'm thinking that there's going to be 2 Latios sets. It's going to be Calm Mind no matter what, with Psyshock and HP Fighting, because that's what he brought last time. HP Fighting or Surf, but I think HP Fighting might be just like a tad bit more likely, just because it helps out with my Greninja a lot more, and Surf obviously won't be able to 2KO that, but it's either going to be Recover from there or Dragon Dance, and I got to keep in mind both of those sets. So Toxic is nice for both of them. I don't think it'll be Sub-Calm Mind. I don't think that's like a good set versus me, especially considering that I have the Sylveon, where I can just Hyper Voice through the sub, and that would be really annoying. So yeah, this is just kind of a pretty good set versus him. I don't need the attack investment to take down what I want to take down with the Earthquake. It'll always 2KO the Heatran, and with the pitiful defense that Nihilego has, I'm totally fine versus that, just clicking Earthquake. I'm probably not going to stand versus this thing with Nihilego if it's up against it, because like Psychic would be really annoying, or like Z-Psychic or anything. So I do have a designated counter, as you guys can see right here, so I'm totally fine with that. And yeah, the set's just overall pretty nice versus him. Next one we have is going to be our physical Greninja with Spikes, Waterfall, Night Slash, and Gunk Shot. So something that I've kind of known Turbo to do just throughout the season is he does a lot of anticipating of sets before the games, and I think that he'll definitely anticipate a physical Greninja, but I don't know if he'll expect me to bring Spikes. He might expect me to bring U-Turn over Spikes, which is something that I kind of have in mind going into this game. But Spikes, Waterfall, Night Slash, and Gunk Shot is a pretty good set versus him for a couple different reasons. One, Gunk Shot's obviously like really good versus mons like Slurpup and especially Tapu Fini. I think Caviar Berry will come this week, because last time I did bring a Poisonium Z Greninja, so I don't want that to be like too like problematic for me. So I'm probably just gonna switch out into that thing versus, I guess, the Tapu Fini, go into my Venusaur more than likely, and be fine with that. But my Venusaur kind of has some issues this game, as you guys get to see in a sec, or when I get into the game. But yeah, so Spikes, Waterfall, Night Slash, Gunk Shot, this kind of just covers his entire team really well. Based on some mons that I think he'll bring, I think like mons like Dusknoir will come, because like, he kind of needs it for my Buzzwole. And mons like the I guess the Lapras could come to kind of take this thing on, but I still have checks that in the back. So I was thinking about bringing U-Turn, but I like opted to not. The other big thing is this outspeeds his entire team without Scarfers, so that's really important. And it's able to check a Calm Mind Latios with Night Slash. It obviously won't OHKO, but it'll do quite a bit to it, and then it'll be in range of something else if it's at full, but I don't think it'll even be at full, so I'm totally good with that. This thing's also good versus Heatran. It's a nice like kind of switch in, even though it won't be switching in much. So I'm very happy with how Greninja kind of matches up this game, and I think that it'll be a nice closure to the season if it is its last game, unless I do lose to Turbo, in which I'll have to play the winner of the semifinals game. So yeah, well, alright, next one we have is going to be our Scarf Buzzwole. Now, big shout out to the Flying Bird for help on this set. This is a Leech Life, Fell Stinger, Drain Punch, Poison Jab. So yeah, the Flying Bird did, he's been a homie since day one, honestly. Like, not day one, but for, like, back in my first league, like, that's when I started to know him. And yeah, he came through, and he just kind of PM'd me, and he said, hey, do you want me to build a team for you, just so you have, like, a foundation? And I'm like, yeah, cool, yeah, sure, you can do that. And, yeah, so he built a team. It was pretty cool. It kind of had, like, Calm Mind Baton Pass into the, Venusaur and stuff like that, but otherwise, like, there were a lot of sets that like I felt like were pretty good, but could be like optimized on, which is fine just because of how like my game plan worked in comparison to his. But this Buzzwole I did decide to keep with this cool tech right here with Fell Stinger, because last time with the Buzzwole I had to deal with a Scyther, and that's why I needed that last coverage move on this thing. However, this time I don't need to deal with Scyther, and I can just have Fell Stinger. So yeah, because Pinsir obviously doesn't resist any of my bug attacks, so this thing's a pretty cool set versus him. Buzzwole is just really good versus him in general. He only has one counter now, being the Dusknoir. Everything else just kind of gets destroyed by Buzzwole if I'm like, not even if I'm careful, but if I'm like just like a little bit smart with it. Feeney's kind of worn down easily by this team anyway, so that's pretty good. But yeah, Buzzwole is just really good in this matchup. Next one we have is going to be our AV Steelix with Gyro Ball, Dragon Tail, Explosion, and Earthquake with 252 HP, 56 in attack, and 200 with a Sassy Nature in special defense. Now, this set is mainly there for two mons, being the Latios and the Nihilego. Now, that might seem like it's a lot of pressure put on the Steelix, however, I think with the prep I have, I'll be able to kind of wear down both of them with just this one mon, and I'll be totally fine either way. It's also good for the Raikou, but I don't think Raikou will come this game. It just seems like it's not an optimal bring, especially considering that he's got mons such as I guess like a lot of other breakers that can also break through my Venusaur and my Steelix and all that, so I don't expect that thing to come. I think that just with the Mega Latios, that's the main offensive threat he needs, and then it just depends on whatever else he wants to bring. Like I think Webs will probably come, Dusknoir, Mega Latios, Heatran will probably come because it just kind of is good versus me, Tapu Fini, and then I'm unsure on what the last one would probably be, but there's a couple of different options. Superior and Nihilego are the two ones that come to mind. I think Nihilego will probably come over Superior. That just makes more sense to me because Nihilego has significantly less checks versus my team, whereas Superior has to deal with Zapdos, Venusaur, and my Scarf Buzzwole, and my Greninja with Gunk Shot. So that's obviously not something he's gonna want. So yeah, this set's mainly there for the Nihilego and the Latios, and just kind of destroys them. So Gyro Ball, after if it is like a +1 Dragon Dance Mega Latios, I'll always be able to KO that thing with a Gyro Ball. If it gets +1 in speed, which is important. Otherwise, I'll just Dragon Tail it out and put it in range of my Greninja or my Buzzwole, so I'm good with that either way. And yeah, so Explosion just there because it was like a fun last minute bring, kind of, because I didn't really need anything else on this thing, and just getting off that big power move is always going to be kind of nice. And then I've just got Earthquake for the Heatran in case he wants to come in, also for the Raikou. So yeah, this thing's a pretty good set versus him. Next one we have is going to be our Sash Lycanroc with Stealth Rock, Stone Edge, Swords Dance, and Celerock. Now, the reason I brought this Sash Lycanroc is because I was afraid of a lot of offensive threats on his team. Slurpuff, Nihilego, even the Mega Latios, they were all just really annoying versus me, so I wanted to have something that could kind of like be a failsafe to all those, and that's where my Lycanroc comes in. Now, he doesn't have the greatest rock resist, and I don't think that the Crocodile will come. If it does come, then basically my plan is just to kind of go into a lot of different other mons, because a lot of different other mons on my team do beat the Crocodile, so I'm not that worried about it. This thing's also good for rocks because I thought they were important this game, and I wanted AV on my Steelix to deal with a lot of these other mons a lot better. So yeah, rocks on this thing are also really good. And then a Celerock priority is just really nice versus a lot of different things. Stone Edge just kind of nukes his entire team, and so that's why I like this mon a lot in this game. Lycanroc didn't really do a lot this early season, but later in the season it kind of really picked up on a lot of the things. I think that actually overall this has been a pretty good season for Lycanroc, especially the game versus Tome, but also games versus Hiker, and I guess that's about it. But it got Rocks up versus Turk and Owen, so yeah, so hopefully it can kind of have like a good ending to the season, not let me down. Hopefully I'll land on my Stone Edges, unlike my good pal Jake versus me in the CPC quarterfinals. But yeah, so that's going to be our Lycanroc this game, and our last mon's going to be our Defogged Zapdos with a Volt Switch, Signal Beam, and Roost, 248 in HP, 108 in defense, 16 in special defense, and 136 timid in speed. That speed allows me to outspeed Tapu Fini and Pinsir no matter what, which I thought was pretty important in this game. Considering Pinsir with Z moves can be a pretty big threat versus me, I think it'll be like Rock EMZ or like Normal EMZ or just whatever. It'll be something like that. Probably Rock EMZ, honestly, just because like with Sword Stance, it'll be able to do a lot to a lot of my mons, and like it doesn't really have good resists anyways. if that's the team Monty decides to bring, but I think it will actually probably be Nihilego if it is any of those mons. So yeah, this thing's really good versus him. Nice versus mons like Crocodile, obviously, versus mons like the Superior. And mainly, like I said, the purpose is to Volt Switch and Defog. Everything else just kind of like, it's kind of there on this thing. I like Zapdos a lot. It didn't have the best season, but it's been a pretty good season for Zapdos overall. So yeah, so that's been my team. Hopefully this team can work out. There's a lot of different options his team has versus me. But I think that this team is probably the best to kind of take down everything on his team. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this team builder, and I'll see you guys at the battle. Alright, so here we are with hopefully our final game of the NPL season, and you guys can see that my opponent, Turbo, brings a team of Tapu Fini, Slurpuff, Megalodios, Dusknoir, Heatran, and Superior. Now this is basically what I expected in team building. However, I really thought that the Nihilego would come over the Superior. Honestly, I just thought it was a lot better of a bring for him, but I'll be interested to see what the Superior does going into this battle. So I'm thinking maybe it'll be like a Mirror Coat set versus me. Or maybe a double screen set, but I don't like. I didn't really think it would be a dual screen set, but it was a possibility that I kind of thought about, sort of. Other set was obviously like Sub, Leech Seed, Leaf Storm, and like Glare, because he can't really afford a Hidden Power. I guess he can, but like he kind of needs the other sets too. It'll probably be Hidden Power Psychic versus me, I think. I think that's a smart bring on his part, because at +2 it'll be able to do a lot to the Buzzwole anyways. We're Flying Wood, and it would be able to do neutral damage to the Zapdos, but that just depends. It'll probably be Flying anyways. Everything else I'm kind of like know what it's going to do this game, like sort of, or at least I think I do. I think Dusknoir is going to be the response to the Buzzwole. Heatran is kind of going to be a nuke versus my team. I feel like the Lottie is going to be Calm Mind, and I also like have that DD kind of notion in the back from it. I think Slurpuff's going to be Webs versus me, and I think that the Fini is probably just going to be an annoying pivot into my Greninja. So that's kind of what I had going in mind in this game. So first thing I'm see is, okay, is no Rock Resist, which is really good. I expected no Rock Resist, but yeah, just happy to see that worked out. So if I get an SD off with my Lycanroc, I'm in a great position. And also he has no really good Venusaur response right away, so that's what I'm gonna decide to lead with. I go to lead right off with my Venusaur as he leads off with the Poison Ivy. And on this turn, I'm like, okay, so I'm just gonna click Toxic right here, because if he's Mirror Coat, then I'm in a pretty bad position if he goes for Mirror Coat. But then I'm looking at my set and I see that I actually don't have Synthesis on this thing. I put Toxic twice. So I'm like, oh, okay, well this thing kind of lost a lot of purpose this game. Getting Synthesis off would have been really nice versus mons like the Slurpuff and stuff. But yeah, so a couple of reasons that I'm going to click Sludge Bomb this turn is, one, that I kind of lose longevity with my Venusaur. Two, I feel like he might expect me to go for the like Scout of the Mirror Coat turn 1, because it is a pretty obvious set. So I just don't feel like turn 1 Mirror Coat would be a play that he'd make right away, especially considering that he does have the option to go right into his Heatran anyways and then double into like the Latios. So I don't know if that's going to be, Mirror Coat's going to be his set this game. I think there's other better moves that he can run, but that just depends. If he was Mirror Coat, he'd be like a Assault Vest Mirror Coat. But regardless, yeah, I'm just going to go for Sludge Bomb and see if we get this right. And he goes for Light Screen, so we did actually get that right, but he does actually reveal to be probably a dual screen Superior. So that's pretty annoying for me, because that means that, like, I'm expecting some setup mons. I'm expecting 2 setup mons mainly, BD Slurpuff and Calm Mind Lottie, and then that's about it. I think everything else will probably not be set up. Maybe the Finny kind of has an option to be set up, but everything else I think is just kind of there as like a wall or a nuke or something. So yeah, Sludge Bomb there. Now on this turn I'm going to Toxic, because I want to stall out some more turns of the Reflect, making sure I don't just Sludge Bomb aimlessly. And yeah, he's going to go into the Heatran here, and I'm actually going to make a double right here into my Zapdos. Not really a double, but I go into Zapdos, expecting the, I guess it was either expecting the Heatran switch, because I can obviously just Volt Switch out on that, but it was mainly to get rid of the screens. I wanted to get something in that could get rid of the screens right away, and yeah, that's what Zapdos is going to do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to defog, and yeah, we get rid of those screens, but he is going to fire off a Fire Blast, and that does not a lot to me, so that's kind of telling me that he's kind of offensive, but he's not like specs or anything, so that's good to keep in mind. Heatran is pretty powerful anyways, so I'm also expecting, considering this is a turbo build, that he's gonna likely have a I guess a not full special attack investment Heatran. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go for the Volt Switch, and I'm gonna get 62% off on this Heatran, and go right back into my Greninja, as he's going to go for the Flame Charge. And I'm like, okay, so first of all, you guys can see that was a crit on my I guess my Zapdos Volt Switch, and second of all, I see that this is Flame Charge. So the first thing I see is, okay, this is definitely a weakness policy set, because that's just kind of smart versus me, for a couple of different reasons. One, it's just good versus mons like the I guess the Sylveon and even the Venusaur. So my plan here is, since I got that crit, he's guaranteed in range of a Waterfall. But I think that even without the crit, he would have been in range of a Waterfall anyways, just because of the calcs I ran and the fact that he can't really be a max HP set anyways. If he for some reason wasn't, I didn't really go that in depth on that, then my likely switch would have probably been into the Venusaur, who can take 2 hits and then fire off an Earthquake and be totally fine either way. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna decide not to do actually, because I did get that crit. And now what I decide is I'm willing to take some damage on this thing. He can't Oko me with anything, so he's just gonna go right for the Hidden Power Electric, or Grass, or Fighting, or whatever it might be. And I'm just gonna go for Waterfall, and we're gonna take out the Heatran. So that's a big threat to me, get gone right off the bat, but still a lot more threats in the back, as he brings in the Feeny, which obviously this isn't a favorable matchup for me, considering that I am a Greninja, so all I can do is Gunk Shot here. And I also think that he is Kebu Berry if I am Poison EMZ. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my Venusaur, obviously, and yeah, he's actually gonna double into the Dusknoir. So I think that was either scouting for Poison EMZ, or just expecting something else, but I think it was mainly a scout right there. As yeah, Dusknoir is gonna come in, and like I said, I don't have Giga Drain on this thing because I didn't expect the Crocodile to come. That's why I felt like it was kind of necessary for, so that's fine anyways. I'm just gonna keep firing off some Sludge Bombs because I have no reason to switch. But then I see he goes for the Power Up Punch, and this is interesting to me because I'm like, alright, well, even if you keep on Power Up Punching, you don't really do a lot of damage to my Venusaur with anything. And if I'm Synthesis, then you're just in a bad position. But I'm not Synthesis, so I'm willing to kind of sack this off. But he goes for Skill Swap, which was an interesting tech on his end, because what I'm thinking is, okay, Skill Swap, Power Punch, Fire Punch, and Shadow Punch or Shadow Sneak or something like that, because Skill Swap is nice for mons like the Venusaur right here, because it can get rid of my Thick Fat, go for Fire Punch, and do a lot of damage to me, and I thought that was pretty important in this game. Then there's also mons like the Sylveon, which you can get rid of the Pixelaton if I go for Hyper Voice, and that skill swap is really nice too. So yeah, pretty interesting set right here. But like I said, I don't have the Synthesis on this Venusaur, so I'm willing to sack it off right here if it means getting off some Sludge Bomb damage on this thing and putting it in range of another mon on my team, mainly my Greninja. Power Punch gonna come out right there and do obviously not a lot because it is a Power Punch, but he's kind of getting a lot more attack right here, and I'm kind of annoyed by that, because that means that like I'm now like losing my Venusaur when I could have easily kind of saved it. If I just had the Synthesis, I would have been in a much better position to just save this Venusaur. But at the same time, I don't know its last move. If it's like Ice Punch or Shadow Punch, going into Zapdos is a misplay, because that will be able to 2KO me more than likely. So yeah, I'm just gonna take this last minute opportunity to get a Toxic off on this thing. It always hits since I am a Poison type, so wasn't really any fear there, considering that the Heatran's also gone. And yeah, so that's annoying, considering that my Slurpuff response is out of the way. But I also have my Venusaur still, not my Venusaur, my Steelix still. I've got my Lycanroc with Sash and stuff like that, so I'm not that concerned about it. So yeah, and I also don't think I'll ever give it an opportunity to set up a BD, so I'm good here. Roost's gonna come out right there. If you went to the Slurpuff right there, that would have been kind of annoying if you went for BD, but that's totally fine. As I'm gonna keep roosting, kind of waiting to stall out this Toxic, but he goes for Pain Split. So this is no Ghost Stab, Fire Punch, Power Punch, Dusknoir. So I don't know what this set was. I guess this set was made to lure for other set of sweepers in the back, but it was pretty interesting to say the least. Anyway, Signal Beam's gonna come out right here. and I am just going to Volt Switch out right there, considering that the Slurpuff comes in, and I'm like, okay, if he beat I can go into my Lycanroc and possibly just go for the Stone Edge on the next turn. I think he'll Drain Punch me right there, but if he doesn't, then like he might also be in range of an Accelerock, especially considering he doesn't know my set. So I don't know if he BD right away. There's a couple of options I have right there, so I don't think that BD immediately would be a good set. But he actually goes right for the Calm Mind, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's pretty interesting for me because I can just take this thing out with my Stone Edge. Calm Mind, I felt like it wasn't that big of a threat versus me. Even like Draining Kiss wouldn't have been like that annoying versus me, considering I still have my Sash on this thing, no matter what. So yeah, Stone Edge just takes the thing out right away, so I'm good with that. Poison Knife is going to come in, and I'm just going to switch out going to my Zapdos, because I can always defog the screens away if he does decide to go for those. And on this turn, I'm like, alright, so I don't want to take that much more damage with my Zapdos, especially versus this thing, considering that I can still use it for the Tapu Fini. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to Volt Switch out right there, and he goes for the Reflect, and I'm like, alright, so that's annoying, but this means is I can go into my Turbotastic, and yeah, I'm just going to get my Rocks right here, because I still have my response to the Latios in the back. I can still Dragon Tail that thing out, but he actually decided to go for the Light Screen. I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't think Light Screen was that necessary at this point in the game, but yeah, so I'm just gonna get my Rocks right there because I am Sash, like I said, and now this thing is in range of an Accelerock, so Rocks are important because they kind of help me break down the everything else on his team at this point, just because of the damage that we'll be doing. It's kind of a big part of my game plan right here. Anyways, Green Lantern's gonna come in, and I'm like, alright, so I'm just going to fire off a Stone Edge, see how much damage this does, see what type of set he is, and he actually goes right for the Calm Mind, and I'm like, alright, so this means that I got to kind of SD up right here. He doesn't know I'm SD, but yeah, I am, so SD is going to come out right there. Maybe he thought I'd be like Drill Run or something, but nope, I've got the SD, and Stone Edge is going to come out right there, do a lot of damage to this thing, and Hidden Power Fighting is going to go there and do 98%. Now this is kind of important because this lets me know that he is not a max special attack Lottie. I didn't think he'd be, but he's guaranteed not now, because that is a super effective hit and it only does 98%. Now I am Sash, so I would have lived anyways, but yeah, that's totally fine with me. If I was Endeavor, this would have also been a good set versus him right now. But yeah, so the Lycanroc is kind of I guess like useless at this point, but I can still fire off a Stone Edge right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna SD predicting his Roost, and then go for a Stone Edge, just to get off this big damage on the Lottie. And yeah, so Stone Edge is gonna come out right there, and I miss, unfortunately. So what would have been a huge hit on the Lottie and probably just game from there, actually it turns out to kind of make this game a lot closer. So what this means is Psyshock's gonna kill me, and I just gotta go into my Steelix and get off the Dragon Tail. If I miss this Dragon Tail, I'm in a really bad position, but luckily I guess the Hidden Power Fighting does not a lot, and I'll just be able to Dragon Tail right here. And yeah, so now that thing's in a pretty good amount of health, and he's in with the Fini now. Now I don't know what type of set this thing is, but I'm thinking it might be a more offensive set, so I'm gonna go into my Zapdos because I can take any like one hit, and I can always just get off a Roost or a Volt Switch because I do have more speed in this thing. But he actually goes for the Soak right here, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'm not sure why I did that. He revealed to be Soak Grass Knot after the game, but I don't know why he did it on that turn, honestly. I'm thinking he just has Moonblast and not Surf, and that's what the whole deal with that is. But yeah, Calm Mind's gonna come out here as I Volt Switch in my Greninja. The reason I did that is because after the Soak, I was either expecting a Toxic or like a Nature's Madness or something, or just like even a Moonblast, and I was fine psyche off my Greninja. Because next turn I come in with an electric type Zapdos and I Volt Switch anyways, then I can go into my Scarf Buzzwole and just kind of clean up with Felstinger from there, depending on what he goes into. And even if he goes Dusknoir, I'm still good with going into my my Steelix versus a couple of different things, especially the Latios. So yeah, I'm good with that anyways. So I just thought it's fine to go right into my Greninja here, as he actually just goes for Calm Mind. That did cover this play too, because what this means is I can go for Gunk Shot, and it actually just kills off the Fini, which I didn't expect. I thought it would do a lot but not kill it off, or he'd be like Kibby Berry or something, but no, I just kill it off. And what this means is now I'm in a great position, because this thing just does a lot of damage to the rest of his team. And now I just need to get off a Night Slash right here. Even if I was not Scarf Buzzwole. Okay, well first of all I get that crit, and I'm not actually sure if that crit mattered or not. I don't think it totally did, especially not in the outcome of this game. Even if I didn't get the crit, then I would have been able to Felstinger up with Buzzwole and be totally fine. just because like the Duskmar really can't do much to me. So if I just keep on getting off those Fell Stingers, then I'm totally fine because he can't keep pain splitting. He's toxic too. So yeah, no matter what, this is a GG from here. Um, but yeah, Night Slash is going to come out, get the crit, and now the Duskmar is going to come in, and it's going to actually manage to survive this Night Slash right here. So which I thought that was pretty funny, considering just how fat Duskmar is. But Power Punch is not able to kill me, and what this means is that Greninja is going to finish the season off 20-3, and it's going to get this final kill of our NPL minor season. So good game to Turbo. Definitely a really impressive showing from him throughout the entire season. He still has another shot to make it into the Majors division, but hell yeah, we're in fucking Majors, boys. And yeah, that's pretty crazy for me because I don't know, like I used to, back when I used to watch NPL, like I could only like dream of being in like a big league like this and actually making it into Majors, playing some of the better players in the leagues. And yeah, so now that dream, I guess, quote unquote, because like obviously it'll be kind of a dorky dream if that's what your life goal is, but that kind of goal that I had in this community has finally come true, and I'm super excited for that. So that'll be an awesome next season. So I'm very satisfied with how the season went overall, finishing off 10-1, really satisfying. With a 9-1 regular season, only losing to Uzi in this season. There were a couple of games that I think people thought were a little bit questionable, but I will still stand to this day and say that a lot of games where I had any type of like hacks, I still think I would have won. Because like there were only like 1 or 2 of those games anyways throughout the season, and like I don't think that I think that for the most part I still had a really good shot in most of those games anyways. Especially just considering that like how well we were able to play this entire season. I do think that this is a well-deserved major spot, so I'm happy that this season did kind of end out the way it did. Like I said, Turbo was definitely one of the bigger coaches this season. He's improved a lot from when I last saw him, especially with his team building and stuff. Now, honestly, in this game, I think the team building he had was a little bit odd, just with a lot of the setup sweepers he had. He brought six mons with setup, but I don't know. I guess that's kind of like something that people do in like weird matchups. So can't really blame him too much for that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this whole season, and I'll definitely be back to show you guys more of my NPL content, whatever more content I have in the future, which I'm actually unsure what I'm going to be doing in the future in terms of what's going to be on my channel. But there might be some stuff coming up soon that you guys might enjoy. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy all these battles, this whole fun season. This team that I really liked. Never draft Mega Kang, by the way. Like, just a rule of thumb: if you draft Mega Kang, then you're in for a bad time, because Mega Kang is not a good Pokemon. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy everything, like I've said for the 5th time. And yeah, I'll just see you guys next time. Peace.